guys, so today I'm going to film a brow tutorial. So I've done, as you can see, my makeup, and I just want to show you, whilst the brows are probably in a bit of a state at the moment and you're struggling to sort of know what to do with them, then I'm just going to show you a quick tutorial that will help in terms of shaping your brows so you don't overpluck them and make a mess. So first of all, I'm going to use my Colour Lash, which is the clear mascara, which is great for prepping the brows before you put any product on, but also to set them as well. As you can see, my brows are already microbladed, but they are a bit lost in the makeup, so we just need to bring them out a bit. So they're very overgrown. I've still not done them yet because I just wanted to show you this before I actually shape them, because it's all right showing someone how to put makeup in perfectly shaped brows, you know, that are tinted and laminated, but the whole purpose is you put makeup in brows that obviously need more attention. Don't put too much on, just put, so it does feel a little bit wet on the brow, but not too much. Just want a tiny bit on your brush. Okay. So next I'm going to use, this is the HD Brow Tech pencil, and it's got a spoolie on the end as well. That keeps happening. So I've just sharpened it, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it's got quite a point. That's what you want to make sure of when you're using pencil. If it's too blunt, it's just, you're not going to get a nice crisp finish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. Best way to do this is when you look at your brows, what you want to do, I'm going to use this brush. Where your brow should start, it should be where the edge of the nose is. Can you see? So about there. Now obviously I'm quite lucky because I've already got them microbladed, but if you haven't, that's a good guide. So where the edge of the nose and where it sits. And if you want, you can do a little marker first. Can you see that? So you know where you need to begin. The end of the brow, the tail of the brow. So if you again put the marker there, where the bottom lash is exactly where the tail of the brow should be. So the edge of the nose, the bottom of the lash, corner of the outer corner of the eye, and that's where that should end. So again, if you can see, my brows do end there, but put a bit of a marker so you can see. Hello, Shelby. And then the arch, which is where a lot of people go wrong. Your arch needs to be 2/3 in. So if you imagine it being split into 3, so 1, 2, and that's your end. So it should be roughly about here. So I'd say probably in the middle of your eyelash, about there. That's where your arch should be. It shouldn't be half and half. It should be 2/3, so slightly over. So I'm reckoning about there. But you can have a play around and see what looks best, but you don't want your arch to be too far over or too close to the bulb of the brow. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start etching underneath where I want the brow to sit. Sorry, I don't know if you can see this. It's really difficult to do this and film at the same time. It's just really light-handed. Don't press on at all when you're using pencil. And then, so you can see I've just etched a line in first. So I've not done anything else above that. This is Vamp, by the way, the colour. So it's nice and it's like a nice cool brown. And before I do the rest, I'm going to go on to the other side because I want to make sure that I can get them as even as possible. So the same the other side. Now my brow is slightly too far over on this side. Can you see? See that just a little bit there? I do sometimes fill it in anyway, but I'm going to not do it this time. It's only slightly, but... And then the end. Out there. So this brow is a little bit shorter, so I can bring that down a little bit. Can you see? Put a bit of marker there. And then 2/3. I'd say probably about there. So it sort of goes in the middle of the pupil of your eye as well. That's a good thing to go off. So I've just done my marker there. Okay, so same this side. I'm not being heavy-handed. So you can see I've lined the brows now. I'm going to strengthen this one up a bit on this side. There we go. So can you see? Now this one's slightly a bit more arched, so I'm going to try and lift that side a bit more as well. You're never going to get them perfect. One thing just don't even stress about. Brows are not meant to be symmetrical. So you will spend hours trying to get them even. We're just doing our best to make them look as even as possible. But don't stress out that there's one slightly different to the other. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put hair strokes in the brows. So I'm not going to really colour them in. I'm just going to do more of a hair stroke finish. So what I tend to do is I start from the fronts first and be really light-handed. And then as I get to the tail, I do sort of go a bit stronger and a bit more heavy-handed. But when I say heavy-handed, it's not, I don't press on a lot, just a little bit more than what I did at the fronts. You want the fronts to be quite light and then the ends to be a bit darker. So it gives a bit more of an ombre brow. Okay. Just follow the direction of where your hair is growing. There you go, you see? So it just gives a bit more of a textured finish than if you're just colouring it in a block. And then I'm just going to strengthen up this end. So. Put there. Just going to get rid of my marker. And then the spoolie, it's really good, the spoolie. If you do like a line and you feel like you've gone a bit too strong with it or a bit too obvious that it's a line, if you just use the spoolie and just comb the pencil marks into the brow, and it just sort of blends it in a little bit. Anything that's below the line that you've done, just tweeze out. So, I mean, I don't have much growth, but I can just see a couple of hairs underneath here that probably do need tweezing. Now that's fine. It's when you start tweezing these hairs here and anything inside here and also above, don't tweeze above because you just end up changing the shape too much. So you can see the difference now. So we're going to do the other side. Start off from the front. Be very gentle. Now pencil is quite hard. Powder is usually a lot easier. There you go. So you can see I've got a bit of a gap there because I haven't got much hair there. So I'm going to fill that in. And you can see this arch is slightly lower than this side. So what I need to do is I need to sort of lift up this arch about here. There you go. I've gone a bit stronger on that side. Oh well. And then just brush it all in. Get rid of my marker. Might put a bit more on this side. Okay, just going to thicken this up underneath. I can just see it's a bit too flat, it needs thickening. So I'm just drawing a line underneath. Okay, next I'm just going to use, I mean, you don't have to do this, I'm quite happy with how they are, but if you did want to make them a bit darker, I'm using the Brow Cake, which is the Illamasqua one, Thunder it's called. So I'm using my Bobbi Brown eyebrow brush. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit more depth in the ends. So I'm gently just strengthening up the end part so it looks a bit more of an ombre brow. There you go, you can see. So it looks a bit more sort of blocked, filled in there. So that's the effect you want if you do want a bit of a ombre. It's really hard to do. I don't know where to look. I'm like looking in there, then I'm looking in the mirror. So now, because they are sort of overgrown, we do need to give them a bit of a crisp finish. So that's where the concealer comes in. Or, I don't know whether to use this actually. No, I'm going to use concealer. I was going to use my Bobbi Brown highlighter pencil, but I'm going to use concealer because I don't think even my highlighter pencil can rescue this. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit on my hand, and I'm going to use this brush here. You see? So you see it's quite flat. So that's the MAC 242 brush. I'm just going to dip a bit of the concealer on it. Don't put loads on the brush as well. Again, I see a lot of people putting way too much concealer underneath the eyes, and it just looks too fake. So you can see I've just got it on the tip. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in and chisel underneath the brow, and that's what's going to give it that really sharp sort of finish, like you've just had them professionally shaped. So I'd start from the ends instead of the fronts, because the fronts can look a bit harsh if you start from the fronts. So, and just follow underneath that brow. Don't worry about blending just yet, just concentrate on the line. And you can change the shape a little bit when you do this. So if you feel like you've got one that's slightly lower or higher, you can chisel in to adjust the shape as well. Okay, let's do this side. Oh, I started at the fronts. What this does as well is it disguises any of the hair that's growing. So if you have got a lot of growth, depending on your type of hair, you can put more concealer on if you want to just get rid of some of the hair that's growing in. So it's a good little trick whilst you're not able to get them done. I'm normally a lot quicker at this, but I just want to, I'm doing it slow so you can see. I know I've gone a bit thicker that side, but it doesn't matter. Put a bit more on this side. Now personally, I don't chisel at the top. I mean, you can do. You could probably chisel the ends. But I like the top looking a bit fluffy and a bit fresher than too defined. So yeah, so where you've done your bit of your ombre, you can chisel that bit in there. There you go. So you can see. So all we need to do now is we need to blend that in, and I'm just going to use a fluffy eyeshadow brush. This is the Crown C510. I'm just going to blend this line. So just gently, don't press on too hard. Just gently just blend it down into the side. And this is personal preference how much you want to blend it in. If you want it to be obvious, then obviously you don't blend in as much. See that hair there? So I need to take that hair out there. And if you do have like hair growing in that you think you don't want to be there, so like I said, I've got like a bit where it's probably a little bit too close, then just use a bit of this concealer. And if you've got a mono, then you can use the concealer as well and just disguise it by there you go. So that's kind of made them more symmetrical now. Not symmetrical, even. I'm quite happy with that. And then I'm just going to set them with the same gel that I used. And this just keeps the hairs in place. And just finishes it off, really. Again, don't press on because you spent quite a while putting the makeup on. You don't want to be taking it off with the setting gel. So there you go. I hope you enjoy. See you later. Bye.